What's up, witches? It's me, Luna, and I want to start off with apologies. I apologize that I have not been able to upload a video every day as I want to because of my internet problems. I apologize that I look like this, but I washed my hair yesterday and my new hair dryer did not arrive in time for me to dry my hair. And then today I was running around solving the internet problems, and so this is what you get. Woohoo! But it's absolutely appropriate for the deck that I'm unboxing today, which is the Sacred Hags Oracle. I premiered this deck on Wednesday in my live stream, and if you were with us on that, you saw it perform, and holy moly, this was a gift from my daughter, birthday present. Sacred Hags Oracle Visionary Guidance for Dreamers, Witches, and Wild Hearts by Danielle Dulski, with illustrations by Janine Hausman, a 56-card deck and guidebook. Look at the image. Dulski and Hausman. This is a New World Library. The Wild Hag holds the medicine you seek. This epic oracle deck will empower you to reclaim your divine heritage via the power of the Sacred Hag, and that's from Trista Hendren, creatrix of the Girl God anthologies. Okay, curious about that. This oracle is a portal to the deep places, an intermediary between the seeker and wisdom. The wise hag archetype is found in traditions around the world and throughout time because of the hag's unique, multifaceted power. Detailed card descriptions in the accompanying book include rituals, poetry, spells, and writing prompts, with multiple opportunities to encounter the wisdom of the hags and integrate their medicine into your spiritual practice. The suggested card spreads range from simple to complex, allowing you the freedom to craft your own relationship to the oracle. Another quote, Danielle Dulski brings the myth and magic of the Sacred Hag right into our hands, reminding us that this underutilized archetype holds the kind of depth and power that we all need. And that is from Aura North, author of I Don't Want to Be an Empath Anymore. I'm going to be looking up these books, that's for sure. This retails for $39.95 in the US, so it's an expensive deck. Thank you, Ghana. Package illustrations, Janine Hausman, package design, blah, 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 New World Library. We have the same thing there. Ooh, the rough places show us what we are made of, my love, is what that says. And that says the same thing. Okay, so we open. The one complaint I have is this is not a magnet closure. So if you're carrying this around or something, it's going to fall open. You know, you can, it goes on the shelf nicely as a book, but I really enjoy the snappy magnets, you know that. Okay. Pardon me. Why does the witch cackle? Have you solved this age-old riddle? Do you know why the witch cackles with such joy? I do. I know why that witch laughs so wholly, why she lets her softer puddles of flesh wobble in a beauteous body prayer to hilarity. I know why, but do you? She cackles at the invaluable truth of her art, and she cackles at the smallness of her soul. For this, she is most certainly the wisest among us. Now, you'll see me doing this. There's a little something flying around my face. Death awaits you, little something. Okay, what is the work of this witch, is what this says. And I want to show you. Do you see that wonderful symmetrical pattern? It's absolutely beautiful. The first thing this takes me to, especially looking at these hands, is henna body art and henna patterns, and it's making me want to pull out a henna cone. Now, I have not, oh damn it, I have not put these back in order. Well, I'll be right back. Okay, they're all back in order. Here's how it comes in the box. So we pull out, and we see that wonderful complex glyph on the backs of the cards. This, just the colors here, the blue, my favorite, very attractive to me. And here's the book. It's a really sturdy box, but I just don't like that it doesn't magnet close. All right. This is copyright 2021. And just to kind of orient ourselves, we have 4 suits. All right, so we have To Befriend an Oracle, Practical Magic, the cards. They are divided into the Sacred Hags, the Seasons, the Stories, and the Spells. And then there's a section in the back called To Become the Hag. Okay. To Befriend an Oracle, Rune and Mirror, Crystal Ball. Who is the fairest hag of all? To befriend an oracle is to bow deeply to that wild and unseen web to which we already belong. An oracle is more than a divination tool. An oracle is a portal to the not yet known. We humble ourselves here, prostrate ourselves before that great ruler we might call the infinite mystery. We find sanctuary in our kinship with eternal time, and here our keener vision connects us to all that is and will ever be. To see with oracular eyes is to become a paradox. To know we are omniscient creatures who embody limitless minds, as well as soft-skinned and still evolving animals who require a neat lens to look through. Wow, I mean, this is amazing. I'd love to read it all, but I'm not going to. There's a desperate grace and time eternal. Wow, okay, and then there's a necessary sacrifice. What is required of us to touch this state of being, this wild place of the purest presence? What conditions must exist in order for us to surrender our certainty sufficiently? Boy, has this been a topic lately on live streams, is talking about being in that liminal space, being in that uncertainty itself. If the oracle is a hooded and bejeweled goddess, what offering does she require in order to gift us with her wisdom? The oracle does not desire our blind faith or unconditional trust, but does harbor a distaste for desperation, for anguished answer-seeking and lip-quivering demands for direction. The oracle does not require our heartache, and sorrow is a poor payment to her. This is so important. This is so important. I've talked many times about my perfect parking space, and the key to getting my perfect parking space is to be in that place is to call up that feeling of it's there, trust and certainty. If I'm desperately asking for it, I'm not going to get it. And overall, in general, with card readings, I find this to be true. If you are whiny desperate and just wanting an answer before, you would ordinarily have one, the cards frequently will mock you. It will show you all your worst fears if you're coming from that place of horrible fear. If you really are at a crisis point, though, and you've done your level best, and you just really, please show me where I am right now, you can get very clear answers that way. But I really agree with what she's saying of if you're coming with whininess and lip quivering, and also about the payment. There's a line in the Charge of the Goddess that says, "Nor do I demand aught of sacrifice." And what that means is, animal sacrifice. But offerings. I would never dream of showing up to the goddess or showing up to, the spirits of divination without an offering of some sort, without an exchange. So that's a wonderful thing. Ask yourself how you and your world need to be in order for you to feel that elusive sense of eternal spiral dancing time. If you're lost in a dance so holy that you lose track of time, you are not anxious and driven by a goal. You are in effect at one with the more than human collective to which you belong. You are co-created by the moment. You are omniscient, and this state of rare presence is precisely the offering required by the oracle. If, as the oracle's querent, you are consumed by short-sightedness, are wallowing in melancholy's deep blue depths and whispering, "Why me?" or are fueled by an arrogant entitlement to the future, the oracle will have nothing for you. All these states of being reinforce the notion of linear time so concretely that the oracle has no room to breathe, no space to dance with you. this is so important. This is the wisdom of the crone right here, you guys. Goodness. I am going to finish this section because it's amazing. Even if the story of our lives is not unfolding as we wish it would be, even if we are tending to our grief and stitching up a shredded heart, we must approach the oracle with the deepest of breaths, with a sovereign humility. Oh my God, I could meditate on that phrase, sovereign humility. In this way, we communicate a willingness to step into the space of eternal time and consider, if only for a few moments, that all we wish to know is available to us if we open ourselves to being part of something beyond the limits of this single life, this single flesh. Approach an oracle trusting that we are but a single thread in the global tapestry of our primal ancestors and loving descendants. We are but a breath, a blink within an enduring and long-stretching lineage, and all forces flow within us and without us. We must befriend time when we work with an oracle, and we must be full of faith that we already embody the knowledge the oracle reflects back to us. Yes! Even should we experience an epic revelation, we must know we were shown nothing new, nothing external to the cosmic web of which we are already a holy and wild part. The yet to come longs for us because it is already happening somewhere, on some plane, in some way. The past longs for us because it is still happening somewhere, on some plane, in some way, and we are clever weavers, ever braiding the past, present, and future as strong bridge lines in the infinite web of death, void, rebirth. Wow. There are little stories in between here, and then there's a section on eternal time, the kiss of the infinite, a dream vision of eternal time, to meet an oracle well, waking the young and deep selves. She's quoting Starhawk here, so yeah, baby. The Venus of Time, a short story of memory magic, consulting the sacred hag. I remembered tending to the oracle, keep this fire burning. She's quoting Patricia Monaghan there, paying homage to the hag, our waking vision. Okay, this is going to be the rare companion book to a deck that I read through. Then we have a section on practical magic to learn the truth. Ask the crone, find her in a house of stone. The oracle is a portal, absolutely. So 4 suits. The sacred hags. These cards represent elder guidance and grandmotherly wisdom, hallowed aspects of your own psyche that have seen much and know all. The seasons, 14 season cards represent both actual lunar cycles as well as pertinent times in your life story. The story cards are the magical boundary where memoir meets myth, where your lived story encounters fairy tale. And then the spells. The spell cards are medicine cards. They show you what state of being or symbolic action might hold you right now in your life. What magic might provide the necessary sustenance for you to remedy what ails you or fortify emerging strengths. Now, this to me says that it would be really beneficial to work with these separately, you know, and ask a question and take one from each. All right, now there's information on the sigils. The Oracle's artist, Janine Hausman, described her process in designing this deck's sigils as follows. Now I want to show you this. You see this whole thing? This whole design is made up of these 4. There's the sigil for the sacred hags. There's the sigil for the seasons, the stories, and the spells. And all together, they are this amazing, incredible. There's the hags at the bottom. This one's at the top. Then we've got this one and that. I mean, they're just beautiful. So she describes the designing process as follows. It's a ritual for me. It's a direct connection to primal energy, to the ancestors. It begins with a specific root vibration that I channel into art. There's always a crossroads within a sigil that lures the unconscious mind, that leaves echoes of the original root vibration stamped on the psyche. Okay, so the 4 suits are complementary. Then we have opening rituals to name myself seer. Honoring the oracle, I will be doing these rituals very soon. The opening ritual, a dedication, witch written straight from the hag's heart. Opening ritual number 4, awakening to time eternal. Number 5 is the wildling and the hag. The 6 is sigil scrying. There's another little, when you get one in bold and in purple, you get a little story, this savory moon. Single card practices. Option 1, there's a 5-minute, a 15-minute, the unanswerable questions, 3-card spread, the yesterday, today, and tomorrow spread, soul, spirit, ego, 5-card, 6-card, hag's story. There's so much here. Then we go into the cards. All right. I'm going to the back, and with every card we get a keyword. We get the title, the keyword, a section that says Grandmother Speaks, and then a morning ritual and a moonlight ritual. I am so excited about this deck. Then there's a section in the back, to become the hag. Wake that hag of stone and bone, wake that witch, that mountain crone. Yeah, baby. Damn. Okay, I'm not going to read anymore. There's a section on the author and the artist, and I'm not going to read those because we are getting to know them through this incredible deck. Let's look at the cards. God, we're 20 minutes in and I'm just now getting to the cards. Okay, so here are the hags. Hag of the North Mountain. Hag of the Oak Grove. Look at the artwork. It's very interesting. There's a lot of really crisp line work, and then there's this stippling that brings in shading. That reminds me kind of the cosmic, that with that stippling. And then we've got the background colors. Hag of Holy Stones, Holey. I went down to the river on my birthday to look for a hagstone. I didn't find one, but I'm waiting. Look at the light coming out. Hag of Gray Owls. Hag of the East Garden. So we had the North Mountain. We have the East Garden. Hag of Hawthorns. I love her hat. Hag of Serpents. Hag of the South Desert. So north is mountain, east is garden, south is desert. Look at her beautiful smile. Hag of Storms. Hag of Cats. Hag of the West Sea. Look at the Japanese vibe. So we definitely have cultural diversity in this deck. Hag of the Salt Altar. Hag of Wildfire. So intense. Hag of Selkies. Wow. So we've got, all the hags have this red background, and we have the directions there, 14 cards in each group. Now we're into the seasons. The season of salted bones. Oh my God. Season of the wild wolf. Season of the cauldron keeper. Season of tender roots. And look at the color that comes in on that one. And the baby bird. Season of the elder's altar. We know what season that is, right? Season of mud-caked hands. Season of wild delights. I mean, the descriptions. are so descriptive in just a couple words. Season of holy thunder. Season of midday grace. That looks like Lammas, doesn't it? Season of orphaned dreams. Wow. Season of the haunted heart. Oh my. Season of spice and hearth. Season of the 13th moon. Seasons of moon and flame. So seasons. All right. Now, let me see something here. The first one was 1 through 14. So we should have 20, yes, 28. Sorry, I misread. Okay, now we go into the, what are these again? All right. Sorry. Oh, that information was right there. We go. Season stories and spells. So these are the stories. The Witch's Initiation. The Unburnable Beloved. The Raven's Ritual. Wow. The Storyteller's Jewels. The Flame Tender's Temple. Look at the goddess there. The Blackthorn Altar. The Shadow Keeper. Wow. The Grandmother's Prayers. The Wild Child's Prophecy. The Soul Cages. The Cayley's Crag. The Bard's Collection. The Full Moon Walk. I love that it looks like a moonwalk, but this is the full moon walk. The Wild Hunt. Oh my goodness. So those are the stories. These are the spells. Nectar of Forbidden Fruit. Look at the pomegranates. Tears of an Earth Bride. Oh. There's an album by Tony Childs called The Woman's Boat. If you've never heard this album, you need to listen to it. It's hard to get a hold of. It's not on streaming services. You might need to buy it. It's worth it. The Wild Bride. Yeah. Juniper Smoke. Dance of the Rebel Heathens. Fairy Pool Baptism. Cracking the Cosmic Egg. Songs of the Seal Women. Feeling Flesh. Medicine of the Mist Dwellers. Pagan Poetry. The Fern Forest. Secrets of the Sea. Blood of the Warrioress. House of the Yaga. Are you as excited as I am? I sure hope so, because the images that the words bring up are just amazing. All right, let's do honor to this deck. Get my charcoal lit without burning myself. There we go. And we are going to really give it the honor it deserves. I hope you're hanging with me and you don't mind being in the slow zone with this deck. I will certainly be doing personal ritual with this deck. In fact, I might just let this deck decide what's happening with me ritual-wise in the coming times. To clear the energy, I offer sacred sage by fire and air. May you be purified and charged. With ocean water, I offer by water and earth. May you be blessed and made whole. By the sound of the bell, may the spirit within you activate. Welcome and thank you to my guides and guardians, allies and ancestors. I offer you fresh water and the fire of Azrael. Did my charcoal actually light? I don't think it did. Here we go. These charcoals are coyote. You try to light them while they're sitting down and they won't. You pick them up and they go boom, and then you burn your finger. All right. Offering fire of Azrael. Come on, please do the thing. All right, it's starting. All righty. If you're curious about the fire of Azrael, search my channel. I have a video on how to make it. Let's give this a shuffle. They didn't like shuffling this way on Wednesday, but I'm going to be very careful with them. They want a gentle touch. They're glossy, but they don't feel plastic coated, and they're not inordinately stiff. They are, you know, a larger deck, and it's a stiffer cardstock, but it's not obnoxiously stiff. I'm going to do one more of those shuffles. They're not cut exactly even, I'm noticing, because that first shuffle went card by card. These next ones went in chunks. So that is a complaint. I can tell looking at the edge here that they are not, can you see? They are not cut cleanly. Just means we have to shuffle them in a different way and do, you know, a spread and pull or a cut and pull. I do want to look at a couple of the readings here. 3 card, the Grandmother Speaks spread. So the you might consider Oracle will offer you nourishment, challenge, and wisdom. Focus on a broad life area, ideally, rather than a single question when using this spread. Okay. And spread the cards face down in an arc. Okay, so they recommend the spread and pull. Intention to pull the nourishment card first, and then the second card is the bite or the challenge. The final card is the wisdom, a synthesis of the other two. Read the Grandmother Speaks sections of the card descriptions when you feel ready. Imagining an old crone who holds your best interest at heart, whispering this medicine to you over a hot drink. What does she say? Okay, so we are going to ask for the collective, as ever, what we need to know about becoming our most empowered selves, of moving from this place of survival into thriving, moving from an idea of victimhood into an idea of empowerment, of enlightenment, of awareness and awakeness. Let's just ask this deck, please. Grandmother, nourishment, challenge, and wisdom. May we have the nourishment card first, please. And now, what is our challenge here? And your wisdom. Ooh, something else came flying out. That's why I usually keep my eyes closed when I'm doing that, because things happen. I love the way these season cards like melt into my desk, my tabletop. All right. So, nourishment, cracking the cosmic egg. Oh, this is card number 48. All right. Grandmother speaks. Birth is violent, is it not? Here to tell you, yeah. Look to the creation myths from around the world, and you will not find sweet and painless tales of whole worlds being born. No, you'll find much eruption and blood. You'll find grand and climactic interstellar storms, and children burdened with terrible choices we would not wish on the wisest warrior. Creation demands our fearlessness, and no great art was ever born easily. Is now the time to crack that cosmic egg, dear child? Are you pregnant with some epic dream that wants your mothering? Know that manifestation is gnarly and press on. The world needs your medicine. So the nourishment is letting us know that something is ready to be born here. And what I'm seeing for the collective and for our global times is the assurance and the reassurance that we are in a birth process. We are birthing the new, and you've heard me go on and on, particularly if you're watching my live streams, about how much better spent our time is creating the new rather than taking down the old. The old will crumble and fall of its own accord when the new hits that tipping point. You know, when we get to the point where more people are interested in a new way of being than the old way, things will shift and the old will go through its own demise. It has its own cycles. It has its own lifespan. And its lifespan is coming to an end. And rather than, certainly we need to push against these systems, but we push against them most effectively in the long term by building the new right now. So the nourishment that we are being given is knowing that the birth process is happening now. Okay, let's go to the next one. Here's the bite. Season of the Elder's Altar. So this is the challenge. Grandmother, and the key phrase here is ancestral healing. Did I look at creativity? So the nourishment is creativity. The challenge is ancestral healing. This is going to be interesting. Grandmother speaks. It's not easy, I know, to feel yourself as the living tension between your ancient ancestors and your beloved future kin. These lineages of yours are scarred by the atrocities that have shaped our world, yes, but they are also marked by the most profound wisdoms and majestic art. Your ancestral inheritance is vast, my love, but you need to dig under the more recent dead to find the treasures. Oh, I got chills. You are a living altar to those who have come before and those who are yet to be born. I promise there is more to your bloodlines than the horror stories that have drawn these maps we live by. Do not shun the exquisite miracle that is you, alive in this body, during these pivotal times. So, what we are challenged with here is recognizing the patterns that have come down to us through our ancestral lines and recognizing how much power we have to change these things. And I will tell you from personal experience that when you do your core work and when you do the work of healing these patterns that have come down to you, when you look at the issues that you brought out of your family of origin, and you get to work on those issues, you don't have to specifically be thinking, I'm healing my ancestors. It happens. It happens when you decide to stop that wheel, that backward turning wheel of negative karma, of harmful cause and effect. it really does reverberate in all directions. Remember that on a soul level, there is no space and time. You are living in all time, all space. And when you do this healing and it really gets to that eternal part of you and that deep core of you, healing is instantaneous in all time, all space. So this is your challenge. If your self-esteem and your trauma is such that you still cannot feel that you are worthy of healing, you still cannot understand and accept that you deserve to be healed and whole, then this is your challenge, to get to work now on your ancestral line. If you cannot find it in you to do it for yourself, do it for your beloved ancestors. Do it for your beloved descendants. That old thing of be the change you want to see in the world, be the change you want to see in your ancestral line. That's quite a challenge. Wow. All right. And then we have the fern forest. The keyword is fractal. What's a fractal? Every part of it contains every other part of it. Doesn't matter how far you zoom in, you get the same repeating patterns. It's patterns, as my son used to say, patterns. Grandmother speaks. So this is we had the challenge, or the nourishment, the challenge, and now we have the wisdom. Sometimes, beloved, we humans have no choice but to sit back and marvel at the magic in this world. Just sit still within a forest of ferns for a few potent moments and you'll see. It's a wonder we resist acknowledging nature's sanctity, is it not? No kidding. A single fern holds so many lessons for us. Each leaf is a fractal, its leaflets mirroring the larger whole, and so too are we single breathing bodies within a much larger collective. We are pulsing cells within the one global heart. What can you do today to witch your world from the inside out? If you could spend just an hour in sacred solitude living as you would hope the whole more than human world might live, what would you do? Okay. So the wisdom here is that we are a cell within the whole, and that what we change within ourselves changes everything else. We have this quantum ability, and we need to just take that on faith if we haven't experienced it directly. Okay, I'm going to read through the rituals here because we haven't done that yet. The morning ritual is Spell of the Fractal. Breathe deeply this morning. Close your eyes and begin to envision yourself as an integral fractal within a rhythmic, pulsing collective. This is the very essence of magic. Our witchcraft works best when we acknowledge that we are but a single, sovereign part of the whole. What does sovereign mean? I own my own life. Feel your heart beating and imagine every tree with a small radius around you breathing in the same rhythm. Imagine the creatures breathing in the same rhythm and birds beating their wings in this beat. Broaden the radius now and feel waves crashing against shores in this same pattern, this same rhythm, your rhythm. You are a fractal of the entire web. Stay with this practice, sensing stars pulsing in time with you and alien worlds threaded by the resonance of your heart drum. You belong to all in this moment. Danielle Dulski is a real witch. This woman understands. This woman has done it. Here's the moonlight ritual, fractal speak. Before you take to your bed this night, write a fractal story in your journal. You may use the prompts I offer here or create your own, but let this be a non-traditional tale woven by the heart, a story of belonging to all that is. I feel myself getting pulled in, you guys. That which was but a single soul, but there his magic fed the community with. Next prompt. The well-nourished community was but a single circle, but its magic fed the otherworldly creatures with. The otherworldly creatures were but a single group of wildlings, but their magic fed the whole earth with. The earth was but a single planet, but its magic fed the whole galaxy with. And the galaxy was but a single starry spiral, but its magic fed the cosmic infinite with. So she goes with these prompts from the individual to the vast universe. Amazing. And we had one that popped out, so let's see. We have the oh, thank you, goddess. Thank you, Hag. The Hag of Cats came out. I feel this personally. I feel this so personally. All right. She says, this is adaptation. So here is the great gift that we have in order to accomplish this, in order to know that it is time to crack open the cosmic egg of our lives, to move into transformation, transformative magic that affects the absolute whole, of which we are a fractal part, that heals the ancestral line, the descendant line. Here's the gift we're given to do all this. Adaptation. Grandmother speaks, and she speaks a lot, so here we go. In nature, adaptation is a skill of the strong, for change is the only constant. Adaptation is everything. It's a wonder how often our human sadness is sourced from a simple resistance to our changing circumstances, from our clinging to a truth that no longer exists or an outmoded way of being in the world. So they're calling us here into awareness of how we are resisting this change that is already underway. To change does not mean admitting we had been living incompletely prior to some great transformation. We are co-created by our environments, after all. We are sovereign, singular creatures with a grand, breathing collective and a static way of being in the... Okay, wait. We are sovereign, singular creatures with a grand, breathing collective, and a static way of being in the world is not possible. The maintenance of the same exact belief systems cannot possibly coexist with growth. So part of what happens here is changing our belief systems. When we change the belief systems, things change in the outer. That will manifest in the outer. Free your mind and your ass will follow. We shape the shifts within our world as much as possible. Then we adapt, clever and cunning cats that we are. Humans are a creaturely folk, though we seldom admit it. Some prefer to walk about as if our species were the majestic and all-knowing king of this planet, as if we were infallible, as if we could never sin against the Earth Mother who bore us. Those who know all too well that we have become the monstrous prodigal children of Gaia understandably feel helpless in the face of seemingly impossible to change realities like climate collapse. And yet here we all are, charged to be willful, to resist that's just the way it is notions, and use all our power to shape the coming changes. Remember, child, that you can get used to anything, but that doesn't mean you should. Cats are true beasts of spirit. They walk so close to the other world, and they sense the subtle shifts in their world before they come to pass. They are vigilant. They are wild, and they adapt to changing vibrations well because they trust their instincts. What changes are coming that warrant your adaptation, that demand small or large adjustments, that would enhance your ability to dance with this cosmic infinite expanse called the universe? So that's a question. What changes are coming? Wow, you guys. So yeah, this deck is woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. I might be going into a phase of working with specific same decks every live stream, because I can't imagine saying no to this deck at any time, anywhere, any place. Wow, I hope you got as much out of this as I did. I recommend this deck hardly without reservation. I am so excited to dive into these rituals. The writing in this deck feels like me. It feels like this woman knows what I know. and it's incredible. So let's wrap this up. Hit the like button if you liked this. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. Please share this if you know somebody that is as witchy as you are. And if you would like me to read for you on an unboxing, there's an Amazon wish list below. Buy me a deck, I will read for you. There's also a few links where you can send me some donations, or you can join my Patreon for $3 a month and get some early content. You get early access to the new and full moon charts, and early access to the deck that your patronage allows me to purchase every month. So, in great gratitude for you, in great gratitude for Danielle Dusky and Janine Hausman, I will see you next time, and gratitude to you too as well. Until then, this is Luna. Blessed be.